Hi guys, good morning. In here, I want to explain about Austrian law. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Alfina Rahma. You can call me Alfina. I'm from Kendal City, Central Java, Indonesia. Okay, let me explain. The history. In Austria, the legal system is based on common law, which originates from Roman law is arranged in hierarchical layers. This preparation is ordered according to the level of law, and those who establish laws and regulation must comply with the standards set by the higher level. If ranked from top to bottom, the top ones are occupied by Austrian federal constitution and individual constitutional laws, as well as the European Union accession law. This European Union accession law was adopted by Austria into its legal system after the country became a member of the European Union on January 1st, 1995. Austria was the first country to pioneer the establishment of a constitutional court whose main function was to uphold the supremacy of the constitution through constitutional review of all legal product deemed to be in conflict with it. Initially, the institution of constitutional review or judicial review in Austria was initiated by a legal scholar named George Jelinek in the 19th century. His idea in the form of institutionalizing the constitutional review function within the Austrian Supreme Court, which is still attached to and under the authority of the Supreme Courts like in US, was then developed by his student Hans Kelsen by forming a separate institution called the Constitutional Court. Hans Kelsen's ideas then began to be drafted in 1919 after he was appointed as Chancellery member of the advisory team for drafting the Austrian constitution in 1919. Then finalized and ratified as Austria's first constitution after separating from the Austro-Hungarian Empire after World War I on October 1st, 1920 with the official name Federal Constitution of Austria. At the same time, a new institution was born with a new function in the Austrian constitutional system, even in the word, namely the formation of the Austrian Constitutional Court. Next is about private law. Private law. Civil law is divided into two, namely general civil law, which applies to everyone, and special civil law, which only applies to certain legal categories such as commercial law from entrepreneur and employment law for entrepreneurs and workers. General private law is regulated in a comprehensive private law called APGP, or in English it's called General Civil Code, which was promulgated in 1811 and came into force in 1812. Then special sentences are not legally binding, but they have persuasive authority as determinant. Criminal law. Austria has a criminal law code called the Constitutio Criminalis Teresiana, which came into force in 1768. Then in 1804, a new law came into force which was amended in 1852, and most of it remained in effect until 1974. After that, a new legal system came into effect, which was its contained important amendments regarding the juvenile court law and the law regulating sexual offense. Criminal law provision regulate whether a suspect has actually committed a crime and whether sanction need to be imposed. Then the principles of justice is applied in the form of the presumption of innocence so that if the defendant is not proven guilty or there is still doubt about whether the defendant actually committed the crime, so if that happens then the defendant must be released. This principle is called dubio pro reo. And next is about Austrian court. The court system in Austria originates from the Federal Republic decision and finding are announced in the name of Republic Austrian law. Also, this quizzes between the first two main jurisdictions, namely number one is tribunal and court concert with public law matters, and number two is the court of ordinary jurisdiction. Okay, the last we have um, chapter about legal resource in Austria. One of the legal resources in Austria is the Legal Information System of the Republic of Austria. This system is a computer-aided information system for Austrian law, coordinated and operated by the Austrian Federal Chancellery and can be used by all citizens to search for up-to-date information. Then the next legal resource in the court, which include the Supreme Court, Constitutional Court, Administrative Court, and Federal Administrative Court. The next legal resource are further online resource, and finally there are select print legal resource in English. Okay, okay, thank you about your attention to watching my explain about Austrian law. Goodbye.